Hey guys, how's it going? Luker back again, and today we're taking a look at the 5 best decks after the Darkmoon Races mini set expansion has dropped. If you've been following my content, then you know that I did a top 5 card review for the new set, and I was pretty wrong, but in my defense, the set hasn't really, the meta hasn't like finalized yet, so I could be right. But today, I will be right, because we're taking a look at the 5 best decks for ladder in the newest mini set. If you want to hit Legend, maybe you just want to climb from whatever rank you are to your new all-time high, maybe you just want to make fun of people on ladder and play a better deck than them, and this video is the one for you. If you enjoy it, be sure to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Helps out a lot. I post content a couple times a week, and I'm trying to, rev up and do more, so all the support that you guys show me makes me want to do more. If you guys have suggestions, feel free to hit me in the comments below, and if you think I'm stupid, tell me why in the comments below. I appreciate you guys, and nonetheless, without further ado, let's take a look at the 5th best deck for the Darkmoon Races. Alright, so we're going to start off with number 5 as usual. I actually debated the 5th deck on this list quite a bit. I wasn't sure at first. I asked my good pal Monsanto, but I came to the conclusion that I think it's Tempo Mage. This list that we're featuring is from Liquid Ox. It's actually pretty standard, but it does feature 2 new cards. That's right, 2 cards. First of all, Conjure Mana Biscuit, which is 2 mana. Add a biscuit to your hand, and the biscuit gives you 2 mana this turn, or adds 2 mana, empty mana. It gives you 2 mana. It's like an old Innervate. Essentially, you bank 2 mana for the next turn. The other card is Imprisoned Phoenix, which is a 2 mana 2/3 dormant, spell power +2. Playing this card on 2 lets you have the Cram Session. Sorry, I'm looking for the card name. Cram Session to let you draw +2. Lets you do some crazy things with Sorcerer's Apprentice. This card is just good. This deck is good. Tempo Mage seems pretty good. I wasn't sure if it was 5th or 6th. At first, I had an inner battle, wondering if Paladin was maybe there, like an old Libram Paladin with like one of the new weapons or 2 of them. But ultimately, I think that Tempo Mage is just more consistent and a better deck. It was a good deck before, they nerfed it, and now it's a good deck again. I recommend trying this out and let me know how it goes. Also, you've probably seen Conjure Mana Biscuit in a Mizaki Mage, or as I like to call it, Cocaine Mage. That's also a very good deck, and I suggest trying that out as well. That one's probably like lower on the list, but it's super fun. It's probably the most fun I've had playing Hearthstone in forever. You can OTK on like 6 and 7 every game if you play well. It's crazy. But I think Tempo Mage is number 5. There's not much to talk about. It's a pretty basic deck. You want to have swing turns. You want to go for turns where you dump like 8 spells with Apprentice and then play Mana Cyclone. Or you want to do things like make Giants cost 0 on turn 3. There's a lot you can do. Play around with it. It takes a couple of games to get used to. It's kind of hard to play. But when you're used to it, the deck feels pretty good. Now let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 on this list is... okay, it's kind of cheating. Number 4 on this list is fucking Warrior. Okay, it's the Warrior class. Personally, I think Enrage Warrior is the best archetype, but I really, really think that Warrior is just kind of super well-rounded right now, and any deck that plays Risky Skipper, Armorsmith, Bloodsworn Mercenary is going to be good. Whether that be ETC Warrior, Control Warrior, Enrage ETC Warrior, fuck it, probably even Bomb Warrior. I think Warrior is just well-rounded. I'm going to be showing the Enrage Warrior list and the ETC Warrior list that I think are relatively standard. You can find them in the links below, as with all the other deck lists, but not much has changed. Some lists have included Nitro Boost Poison, others haven't. The Enrage list is from Crane, and the ETC one is just a standard list. But yeah, it's just... Warrior's just good. I really wish that I could, have had just one solid deck here. But I was talking to people, again, Monsanto being the big one, about what the tier list would look like. And I kind of came to the conclusion that there is a world where it's like the 6th, 7th, the like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th decks are all Warrior decks, and I don't really want to do that. It feels kind of like a cop-out. So, Warrior comes in at number 4 for today. Personally, I think Enrage Warrior is probably the best of the decks, but it's not very exciting. It's an old deck, nothing has changed. Same thing with ETC Warrior. Try them out though, let me know how it goes for you. I think if you're looking for something more exciting, then some of the other decks on the list might be a bit better. But all around, Enrage Warrior, Control Warrior, any Warrior. Can't go wrong, man. Just fucking press the Armor Up button, your opponent makes a board, Skipper Armorsmith, and then just go to the corner and rub one out. You're probably going to win the game. Yeah, it's rough out here. Next up on this list, number 3 is OTK Demon Hunter. Not that exciting, but I'm actually featuring a list from my friend Monsanto. I'm not sure if it's the best list, there's quite a few out there. But OTK Demon Hunter got a really, really, really good new card with Illidari Studies. For those of you who don't know, Illidari Studies is a 1 mana, discover 3 cards, outcast cards actually, and the next one costs 1 less. So it works like a normal Studies card, but it's for outcast cards. And you're probably thinking, oh, there's some cool stuff I can do. Yeah, well, Skull of Gul'dan, not Minari, Skull of Gul'dan becomes 5 mana, which means you can coin it on 4. Are you seeing what I'm getting at? Like turn 4, draw 3, discount them all by 3. It's kind of dumb. Of course, that's a perfect world, but realistically, it's just dumb. You don't even have to discover the Hand of Gul'dan. You can just, or Skull of Gul'dan. Too many skulls in hands, dude. Oh my god. You don't even have to discover it. It can just be the one from your deck. You just need to apply the discount effect. And it's kind of dumb. OTK Demon Hunter is very good. In fact, I think if you are very skilled at this deck, it's probably like number 1 or 2. But it's actually pretty hard to play. The deck sometimes does draw these insane hands where they win on like turn 7, but most of the time this deck requires a lot of skill to pilot, especially the games where you aren't drawing all of your combo pieces and you have to know how to like attribute them out properly. This deck is very difficult to play. I think the games where your Il'gynoth is in the bottom of your deck, or it's in like the first few cards and you can't discount it, it gets really awkward and your hand gets really full. It's hard to figure out how to dump cards or what to play, what not to play. So I think in the hands of a skilled pilot, this deck might be the best in the game. But for the average player, and for me, I would say I'm pretty skilled, but I'm tiny brain when it comes to math. This is probably the 3rd best deck in the game. If you like OTK decks, then try it out. If you don't like OTK decks, well, you can go write a Reddit post, because that's what everyone does usually, or go to D-Money's chat. He agrees with you. Number 2 on this list is actually a new archetype. It's, I would say, the only new archetype. Number 1 is also kind of, it's not new, but it's revived. But number 2 is pretty much new archetype. You've probably seen it on ladder, you've probably seen it on Twitter, and it is Arbor Up Druid. Arbor Up is a 5-mana spell that summons 2 treants and gives all of your board +2 attack and 1 health. Yeah, that's broken. Okay, thanks, Druid. So now, Arbor Up Druid is a token Druid of sorts that runs usually about 29 spells and 1 minion, Goru the Might Tree. It runs Cycle, it runs treants, it runs buffs, it runs the token stuff. It's insane. This deck feels so good. Honestly, if there weren't any rogues on ladder, I think this deck would probably be number 1, but the rogue matchup's really bad, which makes it kind of tough to win. Arbor Up Druid is insane. It's some of the most fun I've ever had playing Hearthstone. Solar Eclipse, I think, is the one that duplicates your spell with Arbor Up is actually insane. It develops a board from nowhere, and it also just pushes so much damage while making your minions buff, like, very beefy. There's a couple lists on Twitter. People like John Bray. I think No Hands had a list. Someone else had a list. But the one I'm featuring is from Blastoise. A lot of you know Blastoise. He's a tried and true grinder. You've probably seen him in Twitch chat with a little sword next to his name. He is mod literally everywhere except for my channel because I stand alone. But I just did like the Attack on Titan salute. Go watch season 4, it's insane. The episode that came out this week was literally the best thing I've ever seen in anime. But anyway, you probably know Blastoise. This is his list. I'm not sure if it's optimal, but I won a lot of games with it. He won an insane amount of games with it. He like hasn't lost a game, I think. It's insane. It's just so good. You know, depending what meta you have, you probably want to play a different list. But so far, this list has been performing the best for me, and I strongly recommend trying it out. If you like board decks and token decks, then this is definitely the deck for you. Now, number 1, the one you've been waiting for. How do I win the most games of Hearthstone? How do I win at life? How do I become successful? Well, the answer to that is by not playing Hearthstone and doing anything else with your time. But if you're still here, Aggro Rogue. Aggro Rogue, yes, that's the deck, the aggressive rogue archetype you've probably seen on ladder. There's Weapon Rogue and there's Stealth Rogue. They're both everywhere, but the one I'm featuring is Stealth Rogue, and coincidentally, I know I've said his name a lot today, but this list comes from Jesus himself. I mean Monsanto. It's kind of the same thing. They're both beautiful. This list is from Monsanto HS. He gave it to me while I was streaming, and I went like 9-2 with it, and I've seen it all over ladder. I kept playing it after. He's been playing it, and this deck actually just feels really good. There's the weapon variant that I also played, and I've seen people playing, which runs Self-Sharpening Sword and all the buffs, and that one does feel good, but I've had much more success just playing all of the stealth minions and the buffs are just hitting my opponent, and then you run Sinister Strike, Eviscerates, etc. It just kills them. They actually just die every game. It's actually insane. If your opponent's not playing a deck with like insane removal or that can pressure you out faster, they don't have much of a chance. Even removal decks just kind of die to you. They really need like all the weapon hate. That's the one issue with this deck though. It kind of has the Evolved Shaman problem where maybe less so because it's a stealth-based one. I guess it has the problem where AoE will eventually farm it, like AoE and healing decks, but like the weapon variant has the issue where Ooze and like Sticky Fingers and Harrison are problematic for it, but this variant probably is just better all around, I think, because it's harder to target. It feels very consistent. As with all the decks, you can get them in the code below in the description. Just press the show more and scroll down. This deck is good, guys. I don't know what to say. I hope it's not good. I hope in a few days, like I hope I'm wrong, because I don't know. I think aggro decks are cool. I like aggro decks, but it feels like you can just get killed on like turn 4, and that doesn't really feel great. But I prefer it to Evolve Shaman, and I prefer it to Edwin. I think it's a lot more interactive than Edwin, so, you know, I'll take it. I'll take it. But that wraps up our top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed the look at Aggro Rogue. And now let's get over to the conclusion, gamers. I started the conclusion there, and I was like, why do I always do this? I, like, point at you guys and swing. I started the conclusion in the last part, then I was like, I don't know what to say, so now here we are. In conclusion, guys, that, you know, the meta is actually pretty good. Darkmoon Races it feels pretty good. I'm enjoying it. The meta might become a little bit rock, paper, scissors-y, but with enough balance changes, I'm sure things will be perfect until the rotation happens, which I'm very excited for. Just in order, guys, the decks once again were Tempo Mage, the Warrior class, OTK Demon Hunter, Arbor Up Druid, and Aggro Rogue. I think these decks are all well suited for ladder. That's not to say there aren't other decks you can play. Paladin's good. Shaman doesn't exist anymore. Warlock, not really. Yeah, these decks plus Paladin. The rest, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video, though. If you did, you know what to do. Like the video and please subscribe. Every time you do, it helps my video grow. It helps my channel grow. Comments as well. All engagement just helps out a ton. I'm putting out as much content as I can, and I think you guys have been enjoying it because the feedback's been good, and I haven't been told to go myself yet, so I think we're doing all right. Once again, guys, thank you so much for the support. My name is Luker. I'm going to go beat my meat. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.